Well, today we're looking at this 7Artisans AF50 1.8, currently shooting me by way of video autofocus test on the A7 III. Let's jump out of frame so we can see the focus breathing, see if it keeps up with me. A little bit of a closer shot. How is that faring? Right, that's that done, and let's crack this thing open. Well, you know what I mean. Let's look at and see if the build and handling first impressions are on point or not. Get it out, have a good play with it, then talk about it after some good use and abuse. You know the score. Let's crack on. A USB-C cable. Interesting. Manual. The usual silica and quality control bits, and what we're really interested in, the lens itself. Not small, is it, at all? There we go. Metallic, weighs 421 grams with the caps, which are fine, not too bad. 62mm filter thread. Hood goes on okay, doesn't really click into place particularly. Let's see, line up there. That's all right, yeah, that's nice and solid. Manual focusing ring, quite tough but smooth. Aperture ring, declicked, slight notch when you hit the auto at the end. Not happy that it's declicked, but there you go. It is quite tough. The AF/MF switch, which a lot of people have been moaning about, it's quite light, so we'll see how we get on in practice. You could always put a bit of black tape over that. Any good photographer or videographer will have black tape in the bag. And metal mount with the USB-C port there. Very interesting that they included the cable. I haven't seen that before, but yeah, cool. Let's get it on the camera, because it's quite clearly quite a large bit of kit. I mean, it's got 11 diaphragm blades, 11 elements, 9 groups. Yeah, that aperturing is to f1.16 as I thought. Closest focusing 50 centimeters, so a bit better than the maker. Not as good as the Sony, I think. I'll have to double check that. No weather resistance. It looks pretty good on my A7 III, albeit, and this was the problem with the maker, being a chunker. It's a big bit of kit, but actually it feels quite nice. We're going to see how we get on. That is quite loose, to be fair. We're going to see how we get on with this. I'm not going to use it for manual focusing that much, but that does feel fine. You know, that is relatively loose. That's not too bad, other than not being clicked. Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? Build and handling wise, we just need to actually get out and use it a lot more. So yeah, let's do that. After the usual thorough use and abuse, I've got to say I'm not having the same issue as others with the AF/MF switch, but the aperture ring has proved to be a bit more needy for me. I did lose place a few times when shooting run and gun. I wish the whole thing was smaller and lighter too, of course. Autofocus is okay in slow shooting, eye detection and tracking, but not when there's a lot of movement. For slow paced stuff, it's pretty good on my A7 III, much quieter than other options, and while focus breathing is present, it isn't terrible. In easy situations, it's as snappy as you see, and the manual focus ring comes in handy for those small detail shots, even if the 50cm minimum focusing doesn't really get you where you want at times. Sharpness is not bad in the center and pretty good toward the edges. Color rendering, I think, is a little off. It's a little vintagey maybe, but contrast, yeah, quite good. Purple fringing is noticeable wide open, but clears up by f2.8. Chromatic aberration also present wide open, and that goes away by 5.6. Ghosting is present in certain shots too, but nothing major. Distortion, minimal. Vignetting, very present, wide open. Stop down a bit and you'll see a marked improvement. Bokeh, yeah, I think it's good. It can be messy and specular highlights are far from perfect, but you can get some decent fall off and separation. You can get some decent effects, and yeah, I think it's still worth shooting this lens wide open. Considering this is 7Artisans' first autofocus lens for Sony, it's definitely not a bad first timer. Not a bad first lens for a new photographer either. The price is around $216 at the time of recording, and overall, yeah, decent value. The nearest equivalents, of course, being the cheaper, smaller, yet noisier Sony lens, and the not bad at all maker that we recently looked at. Yeah, over to you. Have you tried this lens? Let us know how you got on with it, and I'll see you in the comments section. Take it easy.